This is a News 9 severe weather report.
All right, storms continuing to develop just west of Oklahoma City. Not really called storms yet, but they're just parts of Canadian County out to the west near Hinton. And let's take a look at some shots from our storm trackers. First, we'll go to Val Castor. And Val, Storm Action 1. Val, what do you have?
Yeah, Gary, we are a couple miles north of I-40 out here just east of El Reno, and we've been watching two areas of towers that have been trying to go up. The first area is up to our north, up near Piedmont. That has went up several times and then what we call turkeyed out, basically, which means it fell apart. It looks like it's starting to go up a little bit better now again. But to me, the best area looks to be straight west of us, right over I-40. I don't know, maybe 10 or so miles west of here, Gary.
All righty, Val, appreciate that. We keep getting some light returns out that way. And Hank Brown, Hank, what do you have?
Gary, we're still in Hinton, and looking back to the east is where the best area of towering Q is. It's going to be somewhere near Calumet or south of Calumet.
Let's go check in with David Payne, Storm Action 9. David, go ahead.
Okay, Gary. Again, we're on the west side of El Reno here, and like Val was saying, Val did a really good job at describing all this. And we have these pockets of areas that just keep bubbling into these towers that are going out. This is typical. This is normal. The atmosphere is heating up, and we're getting these towers as they go up. They get stronger each time they go up. They'll weaken. They'll move off, and you'll get another tower go up in the same area. Each time that tower comes back, it's a little bit stronger. So the situation is now, you're looking at our stream there. Those are two towers going up. By the way, that one tower on the left of our stream, if you look at it here, that whole thing is actually spinning. It's got the base at the mid levels. You can watch. It looks like a screw just turning in the atmosphere there. It is turning from left to right. So there is a lot of spin in the atmosphere today. That's why we're going to have supercells and the threat, obviously, for tornadoes. But that storm there, again, going up. It's not going up like a house on fire, but it is going up. And Gary, I look back to the west, same area, another area that's beginning to bubble up again. So again, this whole area is just. It's just, I don't know, I always use the word like percolating. It's just kind of doing the same thing over and over and over, and then eventually these things will turn into probably some really, really big storms.
So it suffices to say, all of you that are listening here in central Oklahoma, also northern Oklahoma, just be alert to the possibility of developing severe thunderstorms and tornadoes as the afternoon rolls along. There's a severe thunderstorm or heavy thunderstorm north of Ponca City and west of Ponca City. And it's moving on off the east-northeast. We keep getting several areas of light precipitation showing up. Storm Action 1, Val Castor. Val, go ahead.
Something else I want to mention here is we noticed along what we call an inflow band already starting to develop an east-west band of low clouds, which would indicate inflow into this region where these towers are going up. And that has just formed, which is strange to get it formed this early before storms go up. But we have a long inflow band flowing right into that area of towers right there, Gary.
These storms continue to slowly increase, continue to organize. Eventually we'll have severe thunderstorms. And let's do a quick check on Pathfinder. And this is just a rough projection on Pathfinder based on where they form, where they are right now, where the towers are going up and moving on off the east-northeast. It's not exact, but it'll give you some idea. This is all west of Oklahoma City and southwest of El Reno, west of El Reno. There's other towers like this all through a good part of Oklahoma. So just keep that in mind. These things are growing gradually, what we call percolating just a little bit, gradually intensifying. There's the watch, PDS watch. That means a dangerous, particularly dangerous situation, tornado watch, in effect until midnight. And the eastern edge of it, the western edge of it, runs from close to Blackwell, back out to Enid, to Watonga, south to Hinton, south to Anadarko, south to Lawton. East of that line, including the metro, south central, northeastern Oklahoma, eastern Oklahoma, that's the risk area for tornadoes. One thing I do want to mention as the afternoon and night rolls along, that is the flood area, possible flood area, once again, central, northern, northeastern Oklahoma. But the main thing we're watching, developing severe thunderstorms. We see storms going up in Kansas. We see the towers going up in western Oklahoma. And we just due west of Oklahoma City, west central Oklahoma. They're increasing out there too. They're increasing to the northwest of Oklahoma City, increasing in southwest Oklahoma. So as we say, it's just a matter of time
Happening wisely so. A lot of companies, organizations are rescheduling events that were being held tonight.
As now, Red Hawks and the Barons still on schedule.
That's what we understand. The Myriad Benefit Concert, the Myriad Garden Benefit Concert has been rescheduled for July 19th. Also, we're being told the people who are in the Moore tornado destruction path have been asked to leave that area, so progress of cleaning up down there, this is according to a viewer, has stopped. I think that makes sense. I mean,
it does.
When you've got debris already down there, even if you just have strong straight line winds, it can blow a lot of stuff around and hurt a lot of people.
Yeah.
And there's no real shelter down in a lot of those places.
So they're telling those people to get somewhere safe. And also a lot of the businesses around our area, they closed up early. Devon, Sandridge, and also just getting word that just at 4 o'clock UCO decided that because of the threat of severe weather, they have shut down all of their campus as well.
And we want to just reiterate what they've been saying, and I've been telling people this all day on my Facebook and Twitter, that you need to be thinking right now just where you will go, what you will do if, heaven forbid, a tornado is aimed at your house. Just go ahead and plan it. That will bring you a lot of peace. You watch us, and we'll give you, our storm trackers are great about giving lead time. Seems like every tornado we've had someone right around it and can tell us almost street by street where it is. And they will give you some time to get there, but you need to go ahead and make your plans about that right now, and you'll feel a lot better about things.
Yeah, you can have peace of mind about that. We'll keep you updated right here on any cancellations and any damage if that ever happens when the tornadoes start to form. But
Gary, again, we're looking northbound here at Highway 81 here, and that's where Val is. He's on that storm, and now, Gary, we're getting the knuckling effect on the updraft. So this is going up so hard, it's knuckling back on itself. Very impressive updraft going up. You can see it in my stream there. As we kind of tilt the camera a little farther right, this is a big, thick tower going up. It's thick, it's broad. The base looks very good. Very smooth base, very, very flat base. And then as we come back to the west now, you start to see the other storms that are firing up into western Oklahoma. There's Blaine County, big storm there beginning to ramp up, and then also to my west and southwest. So again, Gary, the thing is we've got multiple storms developing, but you know what? We have multiple chasers in the field, and we're going to track every one of these storms as they develop and as they move into central Oklahoma, out of eventually western Oklahoma. But again, Gary, the storms look very impressive, and they're in their beginning, their birth stages right now. They're very crisp. They're going up very hard, though. And again, this whole thing is just an evolving process that we all know where it's going to end up over the next several hours. But we're out here, Gary, tracking it. Back to you.
There are the storms just out to our west. Greenfield. Now, this is not severe, but these are the developing storms. Initially, they'll move to the northeast toward Greenfield and Greenfield again, then Geary area, then that one near Weatherford will be very close to Weatherford, probably just east of Weatherford, moving toward Hydro. They'll eventually move up into Kingfisher County, and they'll move into Canadian County, and later there'll be more storms to the south that will move into Oklahoma County. But these are the first ones that appear to me to be significant, that are going to last. Okay, these storms are exploding rapidly. That means intensifying rapidly. They're going to produce some tornadoes. They're still in their formative stages right now. We see them, one west of Hennessy, one west of Kingfisher, one at Geary. All these, in fact, you can look at Moore as we look at this. None of them are severe yet, but boy, they are healthy-looking storms. And we have a lot of the ingredients you need for significant tornadoes, and that some of those are going to happen. And now let's take a look at some of the video out there. David Payne, David, Storm X9, go ahead.
All right, so Gary, again, what you're looking at there in our stream is the Gary storm just north of Gary there near Greenfield. That's the one that's going up. It's got some spin to it now in the mid-levels. And, Gary, this shot kind of tells the whole story. You got the rain, the hail on the right. On the left, you have the rain-free base. Very organized, very smooth. And now, Gary, we're starting to get some tags or some clouds that are just kind of hanging down like fingers under the updraft, okay? And the updraft is actually beginning to kind of drop down a little bit, if you will, towards the ground a little bit. It's beginning to lower itself as pressure's lower in that storm, and it develops that mesocyclone. It's now beginning to lower itself. So that's beginning to happen right now. That's the beginning stages. One thing out here, Gary, you don't see this very often. Look at our stream. Those anvils are razor sharp anvils. And on days that I see stuff like that, are days that we usually have bad things happening, simply put. A lot of instability in the atmosphere, a lot of cold air aloft, and a lot of jet stream winds. You get anvils that look like that. But anyway, Gary, we're headed towards this northern storm. We're going to track all these storms. Back to you.
All righty. Bob Mills, Sky News 9 is up, and we'll check in with Jim Gardner. Jim, go ahead. Jim's out. It looks like he's probably moving toward that. I'm looking at him here. Ellie could be looking at the
Gary, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Go ahead, Jim.
Okay. Yeah, you're looking at the Greenfield storm. That's where we're flying into right now. You can see that heavy rain shaft. Just like he said, Al said, there's a really clean, rain-free base. Nothing yet as far as any lowerings or wall clouds, but you can kind of see it kind of wanting to develop right there. Now, as we go to the left, and DJ pans to the left here, you're going to see this other storm that's out by Weatherford. That's the other one that's developing right there over at Weatherford. You can see the rain starting to get pretty heavy in that one. You can see the rain-free base in that one. So again, these are just lining out, these two right here, and they're turning into very big supercell storms right now as we come back to the right and get back on this Greenfield storm as we come up on it here. But right now, nothing significant right now. It's in those development stages. It continues to rise, but the rain has gotten a lot heavier out in front of it. We haven't picked up too much cloud-to-ground lightning, but I think I agree with Val. It's just a matter of time here. Yeah, that's that Greenfield storm, Gary. It is definitely trying to produce a wall cloud now. You can see the rain shaft right there, and you can see it right up top there. It's starting to pick up a little bit of rotation. The rain is, like I said, getting heavier. It has a definite rain-free base, but it's just in the development stages right now, but it is definitely trying, Gary.
Okay, we're looking at strong rotation, lower levels. This storm,
hey, I need Jim to go south.
This storm is west of Hinton, strong rotation there. So you guys in the Hinton, Bridgeport area, stay alert. You may have a tornado warning before long. It's continuing to increase, so Bridgeport, Geary, I-40, through west of El Reno, that area. And so Hinton, Bridgeport, Geary, Calumet, just be alert. The storms are intensifying at the moment. That is the strongest, but they all have circulations. Quick check on Moar, and you can see the north storm where Marty is continuing to increase. And there's the storm Allen's and Kingfisher, Val and David right there on that storm to the northwest. It's kind of been what we've been expecting. I see Val Castro has a wall cloud, I believe. So Val, talk to us on Storm Action 1.
Yes, Gary. We're halfway between Greenfield and Okarche right now, looking at a developing wall cloud out there with that storm. The base just continues to get stronger and stronger with that thing. And I'm not close enough to see if it's rotating at the moment, but I can tell you there is a lot of movement going on underneath that lowered base. So, Gary, these storms out here just continue to get stronger all the time. Back to you.
Sky News 9 with Jim Gardner watching that big flat base on that storm in the Hinton area, which is due west of Oklahoma City. And Jim Gardner, what do you have?
Man, this storm is really cranking now. I don't know if you can see it on your monitor, but as we zoom back here or go pan left, you're going to see the dirt being drawn off the fields way behind this storm, and it is being lifted. It is drawn right off the fields and being lifted in the back of this storm. Pretty incredible sight from Bob Mills, Sky News 9 here as we come up on it, but it is drawing in some air and dirt. You can see it right there starting to rise, just like a set of stairs going right up into the back of this storm, Gary. Just trying to form a wall cloud. It's got a tremendous amount of rain in front of it. Right now I'm sitting on the south edge of the town of Hinton right now, shooting back to the northwest as DJ pans to the right a little bit here, and you're going to see that big, huge rain shaft. Keep going to the right, DJ. And you see the big, huge rain shaft right there. That is just northwest of town, probably about 1 or 2 miles. And then as we come back to the left, you're going to see all that dirt being lifted and drawn into the back of that storm. So there's a lot of action going on here. I'm looking up into the upper levels. You can start seeing just kind of a swirl, just kind of a spare tire look as it turns and getting tight in here, Gary. So this is quite a storm here. Like I said, we'll stay on it. Like I said, we're just on the south edge of town of Hinton, shooting back to the northwest, and I approximate it's only maybe 1 or 2 miles to the northwest of Hinton. Jim Gardner reporting live for Bob Mills, Sky News 9. Back to you, Gary.
Jim, appreciate that report. And let's check in with Hank Brown just to the west, not too far from the Hinton area. So, Hank, go ahead.
Hey, Jerry, I'm just to the northeast of Jim and looking back in there, and I've got a zoomed-in shot. There's a little bit of a lowering that is formed with this storm. We can see the dirt that Jim was talking about. It almost looks like a grass fire, just where the dirt's been pulled into this storm, and then immediately south of the rainfall right here as we zoom in, there's a little bit of a lowering forming there. I wouldn't call it a wall cloud yet, but it's getting pretty close to being a wall cloud. I can definitely see some rising motion in that as evident, also as all the dirt being sucked up into that storm. And I got to note, we're sitting over here just east of it on I-40, and the winds are just screaming into it. They're blowing straight from the east due west, and they're probably blowing 25, 30 miles an hour into the storm. So you can see winds coming from the south on the south edge of it, winds coming from the east on the east edge of it. It's going to circulate.
That's for sure. Now tell us again what direction you're looking.
I'm looking back to the west-southwest from I-40. I'm near the Bridgeport, or just east of the Bridgeport exit, just northeast of Hinton.
All right, appreciate that report. Sky News 9, Bob Mills, Sky News 9. That's the developing wall cloud in there, uplift region in there, and up in the storm. Once again, that's just a reflection of what's going up inside the storm. Okay, we'll check in again with Val Castor. Val, what's your location? What do you have?
Gary, my location is just to the southwest of Calumet. We're watching the base of the storm. We've seen several lowerings, and I don't know if you heard my last report on that, but as we were coming over here, we saw a couple of local sheriffs stopped here, and they flagged me down, and they said, we just had a report from one of our deputies of a possible tornado touchdown to the southeast of Gary, 4 to 5 miles. And so, anyway, that's off to our southwest there. And that was right about the time when we saw a large pointed lowering underneath the base. We were not close enough to confirm it or anything like that. But that's just the reports we're getting, Gary.
Okay, appreciate that.
Okay, Gary, this is David Payne. And again, I'm on I-40, 281. Gary, to my northwest, about 6 miles here, wall cloud. You can take our stream right here. Circulation is going to be about half mile south of I-40 and the 281 intersection. 281, all right, meet at I-40 and a half mile south is where the circulation is. Just like Val said, we have scud developing underneath this. It's getting better and better organized. South of I-40 at 270 is exactly where I am. Gary, back to you.
All right. Appreciate that report. Great stuff from you guys, keeping the people warm. In fact, we have 2 circulation tornado vortex signature now indicated just moments ago, 2 to 3 miles south of I-40. That's right where our guys are looking to the south. Go ahead, Kelly.
Trying to stop traffic on I-40 west and eastbound out there on the west side of El Reno. If you know anyone traveling out there, call on your cell phone. Tell them to shut it down wherever they are. If they're out in the El Reno area on I-40, shut it down. Call them and tell them to turn on the radio and listen to us. Gary?
Okay, Bob, Sky News 9, Jim Gardner. Jim, what do you make of that feature right there? The tornadoes could be with that or right back behind it. What's your feeling?
Right, I believe it's going to be right back in there, Gary. That's where we're looking. We just can't see it due to the heavy amount of rain that this thing is throwing out, and a lot of hail in this too, Gary. But I believe it's right in there. That whole thing is rotating. It's just a massive storm, Gary. There's just really not too much else I can say about it. We're just kind of paralleling it here, flying eastbound, looking directly back north there, and it's just very, very impressive.
This thing is huge.
Hey, Gary, it looks like there's some kind of a gas plant between me and the tornado. There's some kind of a gas plant.
That's at Smith Road. I have
and, and it's behind.
Huge wall cloud. Let me see a huge wall cloud.
Gary,
it's behind
Calumet Road and Smith Road. That's
at
what
the corner
about.
of Calumet Road and Smith Road. That's where that plant is, and it's fairly close to that.
It's just south of a half mile, Gary. Tornado is a half mile or less from that gas plant. I think, but Gary, it's a big, broad area, but it's moving very quickly, and I have different pockets of debris that you'll see get picked up off the ground. The whole thing is not on the ground right now, okay? I've got areas that it's a multiple vortex. I've got a vortex here, a vortex there, southeast of the gas plant, no more than a half mile. And it is turning like a top.
Okay, you guys, it's going to be moving. These are north-south roads. It's going to be moving over parts of Courtney Road, Fort Reno Road, and Childs Road. Those are all southwest parts of El Reno, and some east-west roads. There's Southwest 27th Street. This is in Canadian County. Jensen Road's moving along Jensen Road.
Oh, there you go.
Move along Northwest 10th, and that's once again this is in El Reno, not in Oklahoma City at this particular time. So the tornado warning is primarily south of I-40, and it looks like it's going to be east of Maple Road, south of I-40, east of Maple Road. Bob Mills, Sky News 9. Jim Gardner, go ahead.
Yeah, Gary, we're coming up. We're going to be just southwest of El Reno Airport, shooting this storm as it tracks just south of I-40 here. But again, we're still trying to get an eye on it, Gary. But there may be, I don't know if DJ can maybe iris the camera up a little bit. We're getting a lot of lightning. Maybe there's something right in there, Gary, and I can't tell whether it's on the ground or not. But that's a pretty impressive picture right there.
Hank says he has it on the ground.
I am on the west side where 66 and I-40 meet at the west side of El Reno. And look at that whole wall cloud. It keeps touching the ground. It hasn't laid down a big tornado, but it keeps producing
what's that right there?
that are touching the ground. The whole cloud base is almost on the ground. That whole thing is just circling like a top.
Gary.
Right here in the middle. It's touching down again. There it is. It's on the ground now.
There it is.
Right in the middle of my shot. Gary, it is straight south of my position on Molar. It is straight south of me on I-40 and Highway 66, that El Reno loop. I'm looking straight south at it, and it's probably a mile to 2 miles south of I-40, still southwest of El Reno. I believe there it is. Look at it.
Okay. Let's go to David. David, go ahead.
Gary, take our stream, multiple vortex tornado. Gary, look at the map. Tell me what little town is south of me. On my map, I don't see anything. There's a small water tower. It's over a city. I can't tell you what it is. It's a small water tower. Multiple vortex tornado on the ground now. Multiple, just like Hank said, he nailed it. It's right here. Multiple vortex tornado. 1, 2. Violent tornado now, Gary.
There you go.
Violent tornado.
This thing is probably going to get larger and larger and larger. Huge rotation. It's opening up to the south. Moisture is going to flow more into this thing, and it's going to be very, very significant. Sky News 9, I think you see Sky News 9, I think it's back to your northwest just a little bit if we're right there. Large tornado. So let's just continue the warning along Interstate 40. This is the El Reno area, along Interstate 40. Smith Road, Jensen Road, Reuter Road, Reno Road, 15th Street Southwest. Some of the north-south roads are Red Rock Road, Calumet Road, Courtney Road, and let's lay Mike and let's also lay some other streets on here. Okay. So all along from Union City to South El Reno, Union City up to South El Reno, take your immediate tornado precautions, and that below ground is best. Get flat, safe, cellar, basement. If you have a safe room, that's great. If you have a large building close to you and you have time to go, that's steel reinforced concrete, such, get in that. If you get trapped in your house, you get in the closet or bathroom in the middle part of the house, and you get down and you take cover. You wear a helmet, you wear shatter-resistant goggles, long sleeve shirts, long pants, and shoes. Go ahead, Val.
Multiple tornado. If you got our stream, Gary, it's a mile and a half northeast of us right now. This thing is southwest of El Reno. It looks like to me it's moving. It's going to affect probably south of I-40, about 3 miles right now. Right in front of us, large, multiple, serious. This is a serious tornado.
Jam shot.
Large.
Golly, both of them. We got 2 of them. We got it on, guys. We got it on Sky News 9, Bob Mills Sky News 9, huge tornado, multiple vortex, and also we've got it on David's stream. Hank's got it. So as we look at these videos, I'm going to tell you, we know the tornado's there. It's along and south of Interstate 40. It looks like right now it is going to be south of Elm Street. But you guys, for sure, in South El Reno, take your immediate tornado precautions. And let's see, down to Union City. Take a tornado precaution in Union City. This thing continues. It's a huge tornado producing multiple vortex tornadoes. That means several tornadoes. And this thing is going to be an animal. You folks out in the path of this, you know, the El Reno area, the whole thing is wrapping up, guys. And I tell you, this is not good news. So about the southern half, south of Interstate 40 through Canadian County, on into Oklahoma County. And we're going to include, of course, Union City. We're watching huge tornadic circulation. It's a powerful storm. It's the type of storm that will kill you. So if you can get below ground, you probably need to be below ground with this storm. Not probably, you need to be below ground. And as you look at the various sources I'm going to show you, and I tell you, this thing, what we're saying is going to turn into a huge tornado. I just saw another shot from Val, a very large tornado. Look at, like you saw on David's right there, it's a huge tornado.
Near Fort Reno Road and near Reuter.
Fort Reno Road and Reuter Road?
Yes.
Okay.
The whole circulation is about 1.5 miles around, just right above the tornado. And it's not really moving that much. It's not moving that much. It's on the field. It's in the field right in front of us.
So if you live south of Interstate 40, goodness gracious, I mean, it's just absolutely unbelievable. The presentation on radar, it is rain wrapped, but the inflow into it is major. And this is a classic, huge cyclonic supercell, and producing obviously a very large tornado.
And they're getting baseball-sized hail in El Reno.
Baseball-sized hail. You folks in Oklahoma City, Yukon, Union City, Mustang, such, what you really need to do is move your vehicle to a place of that's safe. Now, if you're in a tornado warning area, you need to move your tail over to a safe place and take your immediate tornado precautions. Go ahead, Val.
Gary, this is David.
Go ahead, David.
Okay, again, you can take our stream here. We get way too close here, I'll be honest with you.
We lost it in the rain.
100 yards from it, and it was absolutely insane. My winds were over 100 miles an hour. Gary, tornado's still on the ground in my southeast. You can take our stream. Tornado's still on the ground.
Sky News 9's got it right there. Sky News 9, there you go.
It's still a violent tornado. Violent tornado is going to be, well, I don't know where it is. Still 5 south of I-40. 5 south of I-40.
Right now.
And just west, Gary, just west of the El Reno Airport. West of the El Reno Airport is where the tornado is right now.
Yeah.
El Reno Airport, that's where it is. Just west of there.
El Reno is getting pounded with hail, baseball-sized hail in El Reno.
Okay, appreciate that report. Do me another projection on it. Back this up a little bit. We just do it east at 20. I think it has slowed down as fast as it was. You agree with that?
Gary?
A little bit, yeah.
All right.
Gary, can you hear me?
Val, I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to give you a location. 1, 2, 3, 4.5 miles straight south of I-40 on Reno, Reno Road. 4.5 miles straight south of I-40, moving southeast. And it's still on the ground. It's a big, this is a humongous circulation, Gary. It's really getting wrapped in rain right now.
Okay. So let me tell you, in the El Reno area, there's huge hail, baseball-sized hail. There's going to be baseball-sized hail other locations as it moves on to the east. As you guys look at the various pieces of video we have, Sky News 9 looks like it still has the tornado. It's a huge rotation. I'm going to give you some names. So El Reno, South El Reno, continue with your tornado precautions down to Union City.
Right. It has turned right.
Up to the Richland area, down to Yukon, Bethany area. Can you look at that for just a second? Let's make sure on that.
I'm watching the circulation. Okay. It is moving toward Mustang right now.
Okay, it's turned a little to the south, a little more to the southeast. So we'll put a different projection on this. But El Reno, continue the tornado precautions. Union City, continue the tornado precautions. Mustang, and let's go ahead and broaden this out.
I'm going to, yeah.
And so we will include South Yukon in this also. And we will include probably Bethany. I mentioned Mustang over to Will Rogers World Airport. Take immediate tornado precautions. Below ground is best. Below ground is best. And this is, as you look at this is a classic indication of a major tornado. It's already been on the ground several times, probably still on the ground at this particular time.
It's going to be just southwest of the Walmart in El Reno. I am at I-40 and exit 123 where the Walmart is in El Reno. There's baseball-sized hail just back to my north. So, folks, if you're not in the path of the tornado, be prepared to get some really big hail.
It's passing right along 15th Street, Southwest 15th Street, and Reno. Once again, this is in Canadian County, but they run from Oklahoma County out into Canadian County. This thing is going to blow away anything it hits, so you need to be below ground level. This is nothing you mess with. It is a major, major tornadic circulation. It has already produced several tornadoes, multiple vortex, and it has all the classic indications of it most likely will be longer. And I tell you, the conditions are more favorable the more it goes to the east. So Hank gave great information there. It was just southwest of the Walmart in the El Reno area. And Hank, if you're still on there, can you give me any?
I'm at the Reno Cinema, which is a movie theater south of El Reno on Country Club Road. And I'm looking to the southwest. I can't tell if there's a tornado or not. What I can tell you is the whole sky is sitting on the ground, and it is just churning. If there's a tornado in the rain, I can't see it. I can see real large rotating off. Well, yeah, there's another funnel there. It's probably going to be a mile southwest of this movie theater here on Country Club Road. And if I'm not mistaken, then it's going to be really close to the El Reno Airport, Gary, the same airport that got hit a few years ago. Man, the sky is just really cranky. I can see another funnel forming now, Gary. Oh, there it is.
Mike, can we go sector scan
again? There it is. It's on the ground again. Multiple vortices. I can see 3 funnels right now. See it open there? There you go. There's 3 vortices right now just southwest of Country Club Road, and I'm south of I-40 on Country Club Road.
Okay, we can see on Storm Shield The Big Hook Echo, it's moving. The circulation is right along 10th Street. Let me here south of 10th Street. It's along Reno Street. It's along 15th Street. It is also extending south to 29th Street.
The rain curtains are really rotating now. You can see it's got to be a multiple vortice big rain tornado. I can see funnels outside of the rain. I can see funnels inside the rain that are all wrapping back up into each other. I'm going to say it's probably...
If you're on Highway 81 south out of El Reno, get off of that thing. We understand it's bumper to bumper. If you are around Reno Street on 81 south of El Reno, turn around, go north.
Sky News 9 shows that traffic right there, by the way. He's right over top of 81.
Well, there's a large tornado moving toward Highway 81. It's wrapped up in rain at times. This is a major circulation. It is a life-threatening situation, and it is right. The center of the circulation is right at South Reformatory Road and right at, that one doesn't have a name, 10th Street. This is 10th Street that comes out of Oklahoma County, and this rotation, this circulation goes up over El Reno, a good part of southern El Reno. And if you look at more right there, you can see it right there, that little dot, that's the center of the tornado. But this whole thing is a tornadic circulation. Here's the air moving into it. And I don't like the position Sky News 9 is in. They're out in front of it. I'd rather have you in a different position, but the tornado's half a mile east of the airport. Thank you, Kelly. The velocities are absolutely astonishing in this. So they're going to move along Reno Street, 15th Street, 29th Street, 44th Street. And these are streets that run out of Oklahoma County. And if you'll also on the right-hand side, if you guys want to pop up the projection.
It's unbelievable.
That's on Pathfinder.
Pathfinder, there you go. And there's a projection on it. You guys in Union City should be in this also. I am going to enlarge this, so we're going to make sure that we take care of the area there. There we go. Union City. It's in El Reno now, South El Reno. This thing is South Interstate 40. It is a classic tornadic circulation that is usually life-threatening if you're caught out in it.
It is 2 miles from Highway 81, Gary. The center of it just passed over, just 2 miles west of Highway 81.
Gotcha. It's due south of downtown El Reno, and you can see Union City right here. You guys in Union City, take your tornado precautions. You're going to get strong winds one way or another. It's moving directly toward Mustang, Oklahoma, directly toward Mustang. And let me tell you, this thing is going to continue to produce tornadoes the way it looks right now. It is really something. This one's South El Reno, Union City, 623, Banner, 630, Yukon, 639. It's along and south of Interstate 40 until you get over to Oklahoma County. Lake Overhoser, 649. Bethany, if it goes up your way, you're going to be very close to you, maybe a little south, but Bethany right now, 654. Warwick is 655. Wheatland, 655. Will Rogers, 701. And Nichols Hills, 701. And Penn Square, 702. This thing appears to be headed directly toward Mustang, parts of maybe North Union City, Mustang, Will Rogers, southwest Oklahoma City. Now, it's moving a little southeast right now. It may turn back and go a little bit more to the east in a while. We're watching a lot of different feeds around. We don't see the tornado at the moment. But once again, it is from El Reno south down to Union City. El Reno south down to Union City. Richland, a little bit south of you, baseball-size hail, El Reno area. And on this southeast, we call it southeast, 20 miles per hour. And there's your times of arrival. Let me move that off of there. Banner 630, Yukon 639. By the way, we're on various radio stations. This continues to be a very wrapped up circulation. And as you look at the time of arrivals there, with a little luck, it'll go south of the village. That's the way it looks right now. But it could change. This thing is shoving on to the east. It's right along Reno. Sky News 9 is just east of it. Hank's north of it. David and Val are just south of it. They're running on a road that doesn't have a name.
It's really picked up speed. I'm on I-40 busting east, and this thing has really jumped east quite a bit. I left it at Country Club Road and started busting east, and I'm doing highway speed, and it's keeping up with me.
Hey, go ahead.
Okay, Gary, I'm just west of 281. Gary, you have to assume it's on the ground, Gary. The motion I'm still a couple of miles to southwest of it. The motion is so violent. It's so violent from left to right that I see what is the tornado? It's on the ground. It's all the way with the rain curtains and everything. It's moving too fast not to be on the ground. It's got to be just a large tornado now. It's going to be northeast of me just a couple of miles here. I'm trying to get back in position. But Gary, the motion of the tornado is so big, it's so wide that it doesn't even look like a tornado. You know what I mean? It's just completely wrapped up. Gary, back to you.
Okay, we're going north now, north of Oklahoma City. As we look at all those things, this tornado warning continues for Canadian County, down to Mustang, Will Rogers, Bethany, possibly OCU, downtown Oklahoma City, Del City, Moore. So keep in mind that storm moving east-southeast 20 miles per hour. Tornado warning now for northwestern Payne County. This would be to the west of Stillwater if it's northwestern Payne County, but that's pretty close to Stillwater. Southern Noble County, north-central Logan County. And Mike, you've got it there on the Storm Shield.
Yes. That's this particular storm right here near Mulhall.
Yeah, give me that. It'd be, yeah, it's going to affect Mulhall, Orlando.
There's the tornado warning right here.
Okay.
So it's going to, so the center of it's going to pass very close to Mulhall, Gary. It's going to travel. You don't want to be on 51. That's for sure.
South 51.
And that could approach Stillwater within. It looks like about an hour. 1 hour from now, it'd be approaching the west side of Stillwater.
Okay. So you guys up at Stillwater in that area, stay alert. Tornado warning for you guys. Northwestern Payne. And the towns we have on here, Mulhall, Orlando, Lake Carl Blackwell, and Lake McMurtry. And so that's going to be coming in towards Stillwater. You guys watch that to the west here of Oklahoma City. As we see on Pathfinder, this thing's still quite wrapped up. Still a tornadic signature on it. It's right along just a hair south of Interstate 40. They've been calling it southeast, but I got to tell you, maybe it's a little east-southeast. Go ahead, Kelly.
At 81 in Jensen, Highway 81 in Jensen.
It's crossing Highway 81 right now.
It's off the charts.
81 in Jensen, Highway Patrol, 81 in Jensen. 81 in Jensen. Kelly, did they give you a direction of movement?
No, they didn't, Gary. They said it was east, southeast is the direction they thought they was moving.
Okay, who do I have there?
Okay, Gary, we have the tornado looks like it's on the ground, and it is just near or just east of Highway 81, south of El Reno. And let me tell you what, it is strong rotation.
This is a risk, obviously, to property. This is also a risk to life. It is moving right now. I-40 drops a little south there, so we can see the debris ball with it. We can see the eye of the tornado, and it is very close to 10th Street. The center of it's going, and the debris ball appears to be over a mile wide, and is 10th Street, and it is Jensen Road. So it's between 10th Street and Jensen Road, and it's getting ready to move right over South Radio Road. It's going to move over
back due east again.
East Jensen Road.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but it's moving due east now.
That's what I thought. It looked like to me they had the southeast on that.
It took a wobble to the southeast. Now it's moving due east
again. Okay, it's moving due east. So if you live along Interstate 40, or you live north, a mile, let's say 2 miles north of Interstate 40 in eastern Canadian County, take your tornado precautions. This thing is absolutely horrendous and is a threat to your life. If you possibly can, get below ground level. Get below ground. Go ahead.
I'm hearing 2 OHP troopers out there who got too close to this thing. One has broken windows in his unit. They're trying to get south out of this thing. They're at 29th all the way down to 44th Street. It is still hitting them there. So they're at Jensen, 29th. I guess they're not too far from coming up on, you mentioned Radio Road. They're at 29th and 44th trying to drive south of this. And their cars are damaged now. It's a bad situation out there.
Yeah, it's a major circulation. Now, you know what it's doing right there? The center of the circulation, the tornado went back up into precipitation, and it's almost stopped. Go ahead.
Tornado.
Go ahead.
Satellite tornado. Okay, you can see my GPS. We have a satellite tornado that just came on the south side of the major tornado. Gary, take my stream here. You can take my stream. Look at this tornado, Gary. It's a mile wide. It's maybe more than a mile wide, Gary.
Thanks, Val.
Yeah, okay, Gary.
Go ahead, Val.
He's right. This thing is a mile wide, Gary. If it's not a mile wide, it is very close to it. We are 2 miles north of Union City, looking due north at this tornado, Gary. It's about probably 2 miles north of us, maybe 2 to 3 miles straight north of us. This thing is moving. It looks like due east.
So all along Interstate 40, this thing is a lot like the one we had the other day, where it would look like it was stopped and it would kind of wrap up on itself. And just moments ago, the debris ball was about a mile across, and we can see Val's shot. If I can tell you, we're looking at, take Val's shot, Storm Action 1. Val has a huge tornado. Highway 66. So I think if you, let me tell you what, I would, if from south of Elm Street, this is in El Reno, south of Elm Street, and then it is past 81, but boy, it's just about a mile and a half east. That looks like it is on South Radio Road, right on Jensen Road. It certainly is. Kelly, you need me? Go ahead.
These troopers are now they're trying to head north, and one of them was near I-40 and Banner Road, and he said he was still in circulation.
Oh, he definitely is.
I-40 and Banner Road, and they're still trying to get out of this thing.
He's the tornado's on top of him.
Yeah.
Look at that. That's a gigantic tornado. Whose shot is that? I just saw it. Who's on the left side?
Near the Clarence Page Airport. Cimarron Road, and this is a monster mile-wide tornado that's going to go very, very close to P.E. Page Airport. I just dropped south of the airport a little bit, get a better vantage point, and man,
okay, come on. Okay, I'm just going to talk to the folks. This is a tornado emergency, of course, from the part of the El Reno area on into Yukon, Banner. Right now, it's moving almost due east in Yukon area. You need to get below ground if you possibly can. If it's on top of you, you can't outrun it. I mean, if it's on top of you, very close to you, don't try it. It's a massive, massive circulation. The wind speeds on Doppler radar continue to be something like I really have never seen before. So this is a tremendously strong storm. It is a life-threatening storm.
I-40, a half-mile west of Banner.
That's what they're saying?
Yes.
It did lift back to the north.
It is the northeast. Yeah, it is.
This is wild. It will move southeast, now it's moving northeast.
It just crossed I-40 near Banner Road. That's moving a little bit to the northeast, so it's oscillating along, kind of like a hurricane does, along the center line. And in a few minutes, it may drop back to the south. So really, the circulation is almost as far north as Wilshire Road. That's the road that comes out of Oklahoma County. So right now, it's south of Wilshire Road, and it looks like it's along or just east of Radio Road.
Gary, I'm going to widen this fan until we can figure out exactly which way this thing's going to go.
It's wobbling. It's a slow mover, and it is.
I am at 20 from my end.
Gary.
You go ahead.
Gary, this is David. Again, the tornado's on the ground.
Oh,
okay.
It's right on I-40.
Just south of I-40, still a mile wide. I'm on the south side. Gary, I've seen one hit. I've seen one house with heavy damage to a barn. I've seen some damaged power lines down. But again, looking northbound, the tornado is at least a mile wide. Mile-wide tornado close to I-40. Gary, back to you.
All righty. Appreciate these reports. It's a gigantic tornado, at least a mile wide. Let me talk to you kids that are home alone. Get in the center. If you have a cellar or a safe room, that's where you go. If not, you get in a bathroom or a closet in the middle part of your house, put a helmet on, football helmet, anything. Put a football helmet on. Long sleeve shirts. Make sure you have long pants on. Make sure you have shoes on. Wrap up in blankets and get in the bathtub or stick yourself between the wall and the stool, whatever. So, this will eventually pass, but this is a very dangerous storm. We see a large debris ball right now, right along Interstate 40. So it is smashing businesses and houses. That's what we see in the air at this particular time. So it continues to be a tornado emergency from east sections of El Reno all the way over to Banner, then to Yukon. And this thing is a threat to life and property. Go ahead.
Gary, Cimarron Road, about Reno, it's getting ready to go just to my northwest. I can see
south. There's one vortex on the left, and this thing just gets stronger and stronger and stronger. I think at one point we're going to find out here coming up tomorrow that the width of this, not right here, but 10, 15 minutes later, was probably over a mile wide. There it is now. That's a good eighth of a mile wide. And that multiple vortex tornado now has turned into this big tornado. Look at that shot there. 1, 2, 3. 3 vortices on the ground at the same time.
Where is this?
That's going to be just south of 270, just 10 miles west of Highway 81. Look at that right there. And it just sat there. It sat there in almost the same spot, just digging a hole, but a big hole. And here, I got a little too close. We actually got pretty far down the road here and stopped. The inflow was just crazy. But now there it is on I-40. That's just to the south. That is on I-40. You can see the right side and the left side. That's a mile wide. It had a satellite tornado we barely even talked about set down. Look at the damage there.
Wow, yeah.
Look at the, I mean, pretty significant damage. That wasn't even in with that tornado, another small satellite tornado, but look at the width of that.
That was at 6:29 tonight, where you said there was a house with damage close to I-40 and the barn with damage as well.
I don't
2 miles south.
I don't know if you know about all the vehicles that were hit in that area. We've had at least 4, maybe 5 fatalities out there.
Right.
And 2 of them right on I-40, and then 2 to 3 of them in this area you're talking about, which is between Union City and El Reno.
Right, right. You know, and the thing about when you're on I-40, you have people that aren't from here traveling, and I don't know.
I think they drove right into it.
They just drive right into it. It was so big as you're driving west or east or whatever you're doing, and when it was coming south of across 270 south and was paralleling I-40, it made that left turn. They wobble like an eye of a hurricane, and it swung north. And when it did the big swing, look out. And they pick up momentum and speed, and that's when it crossed I-40 again, and there's where you have problems. But people, they're not from here. You're driving to California, and you drive right into it. Just a horrible, horrible, horrible scene out there.
It is. At 5:51 today, I wrote down that you said tornadoes are imminent. And that was right before they started forming. And sure enough, not more than a few minutes later.
Yeah, you know, all the dynamics were there today. Yesterday, they were there, but not near as impressive as today. The data today was obviously much more dynamic. Yesterday was going to be a day with supercells and maybe small tornadoes, but today the dynamics were completely different than yesterday, and today obviously was going to be one of those big days. We thought there actually might end up being 5 or 6 or 7 tornadic supercells crossing Highway 81 or I-35, and we ended up having 3 that kind of lined out in one big line, and just an amazing scene.
I'll tell you, when you had that one near I-40 and Morgan Road,
right? Yeah,
that's a busy corridor through there. We're real lucky that thing didn't stay on the ground and just track right down I-40, because it was full of cars. I-44 was backed up with cars coming across it 3 or 4 miles further. We could have had so many people hurt.
I know. And when I was coming down I-40, passing Cancel and Morgan, coming up to I-235 and all that, the troopers, the police, the sheriffs were doing a good job of lights were flashing, trying to get people off the highways. They really were, but I would stop at Morgan Road and look back, and I was just seeing continuous power flashes. I mean, we've got some form of a tornado. Now, how large or how small it is at that point, we don't know. We'll have to go back out there and look at the damage and see what exactly was happening as it was coming down I-40.
This video from earlier on of traffic backed up, I think this was this I-35 right here that we're looking at? But suffice it to say, traffic was backed up on I-35. This is I-35.
Right.
And I know people were just trying to get out of there and not quite sure where they were going. Did you run into that as well with people and even chasers who were trying to get out there, where they were congesting up the roadways and making it even a more dangerous situation?
Well, not so much right around the tornado, but when I got back in Oklahoma City, then I crossed over I-35 and I-40 and I-240 was just gridlock. It looked like, well, worse than